and share
We
my
are live
WhatsApp.
already. We are live
Yeah,
already.
I know. I can see.
So, good evening, everyone. Before we
Good
begin,
evening,
I'd
sir.
like to welcome everyone joining us today. Whether you are watching us live or you are catching the replay, thank you for making it to be. Thank you for making it to this conversation this evening. I am Realtor Patrick, and this is another edition of our real estate conversation. Where we discuss issues that shape our future as property investors and also young Nigerians. Today's topic affects millions of young Nigerians, particularly young professionals, entrepreneurs, and growing and young families. And the topic before us today is if young Nigerians can't afford houses, what is the alternative? If young Nigerians can't afford houses, what is the alternative? And we have with us today Mr. Samuel Moma, the MD CEO of Mirror Homes Investments Limited, and he will be helping us do justice to this conversation. So we welcome you, Mr. Samuel, to our real estate conversation.
Thank you very much, sir. And it's
So
great to be here.
we'll go straight into it. We are 10 minutes late. We'll go straight into it. And you see, Mr. Samuel, every discussion about housing affordability should begin by the understanding of the root problems rather than simply looking at the symptoms. Say, in your view, in your view, what do you think are the major factors that drives Nigeria's housing affordability crisis, and why has home ownership become very difficult for young Nigerians? So let's start
So,
with that.
okay, I didn't, can you recap? What are the what?
I said, what are the major factors driving Nigeria's housing affordability crisis today?
Okay,
And why is it that home ownership has become very difficult for young Nigerians?
okay. Yeah, the major factors driving the affordability of homes and why it's difficult for home
Young
owners, right?
Nigerians.
For
Yes,
young
yes, yes.
Nigerians. Okay. Well, adequate mechanisms were put in place, came into effect. Floor price jumped from I think about 120 to from how much was fuel then? How much is well? I can't recall how much fuel was selling, but now fuel is selling for around 1,200 naira. And once fuel is up, what does that imply? Everything else goes up in terms of construction materials. Then we used to buy iron at 400, 500. Now we buy iron at 1,040,000 1,030,000 as of today. It was 1,080,000 as of last month. We used to buy cement 4,500 to 6,000. Now we're buying cement 12,150 naira. That is for us that buy in trucks. For people who buy in bits, they buy 12,300, 12,500, and in some cases 12,600. So what did this lead to? It led to complete changes in price. Prices doubled. 3 years ago, with 400 million, 300 million, he could buy a duplex in Lekki. But due to this removal of subsidy, it led to what we call skyrocketing inflation, where everything just kept going up. Now, with 1 billion naira, just some days ago, my wife was sending me a four-bedroom duplex in Lekki for 1 billion. A friend of mine was also sending me a duplex in Lekki for 1.5 billion. I remember 5 years ago, I sold a duplex in Lekki for 150 million naira. A four-bedroom semi-detached duplex, a old building, for 150 million naira, exactly 5 years from today. But as a result of unstable government policies, and in this case, uh, removal of fuel subsidy without making adequate plan, or not utilizing the money in terms of production of raw materials. Therefore, it will able to cushion the effects of inflation, or without increasing the minimum wage as well, or trying to introduce alternative means to transportation to make the prices of goods cheap, or providing some level of subsidy for people who produce in Nigeria, or some tax cuts. Therefore, consumer bears this price. The final consumer always bears the price in most cases in Nigeria in cases of inflation. Then when we say devaluation of Nigeria, of the naira. Many people don't even really understand what we mean by that devaluation. So it means that Nigeria, the government or the CBN, was actually subsidizing the dollar. So in the sense that you could see the wide gap. Let's say black market then was 600 naira. I mean, normal bank rate was 600 naira. Then black market was maybe 1,000 naira. It is government that is actually making up for the difference in most cases. So the valuation is that their government is removing their hand. They are allowing the market to demand and supply to determine the prices of the naira to dollar. It's actually a very good policy. But before introducing those kind of policies, the government should have thought about, okay, let us move Nigeria from consumption to production. So when we are producing, imagine dollar is 600 naira today. And as a production nation, what happens? You devalue, dollar becomes 1,200 naira. What happens? When you export your goods, your prices, you are making a lot of money. But Nigeria is a consumption country, and what we do is import. Look at iron rod we use, it is imported. Besides cement, sharp sand, almost every other thing we use in terms of construction, the tiles, the interlocks, the POP boards, the iron, the plumbing materials, the electrical materials, everything else, almost everything used in construction are imported. So when you devalue your currency, what happens? The prices go up. Therefore, these unstable policies have led to what? Increments in the prices of goods and services, and in this case, construction materials, and who will bear the brunt? The layman. Then, aside this, there's also the greed of developers. In foreign countries, you can't just sell, or in some developed countries, you can't just sell as you wish. Let's say, for instance, now you build, and the cost of construction is 100 million. In some countries, we can't sell that property for more than 120 million naira. You are not expected to make more than 20 to 30%. If you do, well, the rest money will be taken by government in countries like Canada. So there are caps. You don't, and government has a role to play. So the developer can't just be greedy and say, okay, on this project, I want to make 100%, 200% return on investment. Just like my bidding project finding Chevron now. We're even struggling to break even because of the entire inflation. But despite that, we can't just choose to double our prices the way everyone else is doubling their prices. So there's this great aspect, and this is followed by the fact that Government has not yet had time for estate developers in terms of price control, whereby nobody can sell above a certain price and no one can sell below a certain price. And also, aside this, the breed of developers, which as a result of lack of government setting price caps, we also have the income growth of people. For instance, now people were earning 100 million naira 2020, 100,000 naira per month 3 years ago. Let's say today now they are earning at best 120 for companies that are even paying attention, or someone with minimum wage, or someone earning 500,000 3 months ago is still earning 500,000 naira today. What has this happened? So this inflation has led to increment. Developers too has also taken advantage and increased prices, and this has now resulted in reduced income of people. And this is for people who are earning in naira. For people who work abroad, prices have gone up. They've been planning, oh, I want to buy a property worth 60 million, and they are saving towards it. What happens? The government increases the prices. I mean, inflation happens, developers increase their prices. What happens? They have to go back to the drawing board, possibly to start saving again. Though many people abroad were able to buy properties the moment the naira was devalued, because their purchasing power increased. So those that took advantage then, very good. But those who couldn't afford and now they are ready, now they will possibly now have to start thinking of how they can save more to be able to meet the current demand, which is not just caused by developers alone. We also have some government factors. Their policies are actually very good. It is just the timing of these policies that are actually the major challenges that we have here. The timing. So it has affected us. Then the greed of some developers, in the sense that on one project they want to make like 200% return on investment in terms of construction. So all these is making it difficult for house owners to be able to afford properties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I love that you established several factors that affect the affordability crisis. So we'll be looking at the next question. It's going to take us to the next question, and we'll be looking at um, alternatives. And home ownership doesn't necessarily begin with buying a completed house. So the question for you is, for young Nigerians between the ages 25 and 45, what practical alternatives exist today? What are the advantages and the limitations, if you have the time to give them?
Okay, alternatives that exist for young
Yeah,
Nigerians
for
in terms
Nigerians, young.
of owning a property. That is,
Yeah,
aside buying a ready finished house.
yeah,
You mean
yeah,
what else can they look into? Now,
yes.
due to initiatives and all of that, it's not you don't need to possibly break the bank for you to have a home. It just takes planning,
Mm.
willingness, and definitely savings. You need to have those factors, those that kind of growth mindset first and foremost. Then, for instance, now my goal is to own a four-bedroom duplex, and I know that a four-bedroom duplex, I need to have at least 100, 130, 150 million naira before I can own such a duplex. What can I do? There are various alternatives, and I just have 10 million naira. First, you could choose to start with land for the purpose of sleeping. But when you want to buy land, you need to look at location. Okay? What are the factors that are making me to buy this land? I want to own a home. So if I buy a land, let's say in Ibejuleki or Ekwe, before you buy the land, you need to know, okay, this land must have a C of O. That way it has value. And the location must be such a location that you know that government presence is there in terms of development, in terms of accessibility in terms of road network. And you know that because once you have your title, you have government presence within where you buy. Just look at Coastal Road, for instance. Now you know that you want to buy a home, but you can't afford a home. And there's this property now in very close proximity to Coastal Road, selling for 20 million naira. Let me quickly lock this one, fence it round, either from a real estate company or directly from someone who has their documents. You lock it, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you might be able to sell such a property for 40, 50 million naira. Then that's, or you keep it for a longer period of time, you'll be able to flip. While you are doing that, there's this factor that the property you want to buy may not wait for you. So you don't necessarily have to buy a duplex. There are always alternatives in terms of the funding you have. So you need to have a clear plan in terms of that. Then there's what we call rent to own. So you just need to carry out your property research. Like I know of a time where a company was offering rent to own in Abidjan GRA, in the sense that you own the property. Let's say property is an apartment selling for 30 million naira. You just need to deposit, let's say, like 20 to 30% of the property value. Then once you make that deposit, what happens? You now begin to pay rent on an annual basis while you are living within the property. So that's another smart way to owning properties, in the sense that you look for already built houses whereby you make a deposit, you move in, and you are paying rent until you are done paying, then you get your documents. Then there's what we call fractional ownership or co-ownership, in the sense that 2, 3 friends can come together. 5 people, oh, this property is 100 million. Let's get 5 people together, let them buy into this project, and let they begin to use it for shortlet or for business, whereby the income they are now making, they can now choose to buy another property from what they have made. They won't start thinking of, oh, I don't have 100 million. Okay, let me get 2, 3, 4, 5 people. Let's buy it. Then you can choose to turn it to a shared apartment, whereby, okay, since you guys are four, it's a 4 bedroom duplex. All of you own one room. You rent it out as you wish. Or co-living. If you guys want to live there, you live there. Or you use it for shortlet business, where you earn rental income, and you know that, oh, you already have a side money that is coming for you on an annual basis. Then there's what we call off-plan projects, whereby you buy into projects or at off-plan stage. First, you have to trust the company. Then the company needs to have all their papers right. So once those boxes check, you can just easily buy into an off-plan project. For instance, now the company is launching a new project. The off-plan price, the once they introduce it, that pre-launch price is usually affordable. So they could sell for 60 million naira 2 bedroom apartment. Upon completion of that project, that property will be worth about 100 million naira. So that's like the beauty of buying into off-plan projects. And if any of all this is not okay by you, you could choose to build yourself, in the sense that you buy land, let's say a Ekwe, for instance, that has a C of O, or if it doesn't have a C of O, you ensure that it doesn't have any government encumbrance. You buy a property and you build. Oh, it's too far, I cannot live there, rent it out. Then after, and you have all your documents, definitely development will get there. When development is already getting there, so it's within 4 5 years, the value would have skyrocketed. What do? You sleep. Then even if it's not a duplex, buy an apartment in the area where you believe you can stay. So these are like the alternatives that one can choose to do. You can buy into land banking and wait, just ensure that the location is good and that it's something that you can flip. You can also choose to look for rent to own schemes where you pay rent after an initial deposit while you are living at the property. Then fractional ownership or co-ownership. Then we also have self-building. Then I think we also have buying of farmland, whereby you can buy a farmland, you are earning money from it on an annual basis, and you are saving the money, growing your portfolio. You buy farmlands in acres where you can earn millions on an annual basis. Then once you've once you earning these funds, you save it. Then over time, you can now choose to sell your farmland. Then with what you have made, you will now be able to flip, then buy a small property for yourself. You mustn't live in a duplex. You can live in an apartment. What's the essence of living in a duplex and you are not able to live happily? You are living from hand to mouth. So you might be it an apartment, be it a duplex, be it a terrace, whatever your money can afford makes sense. So someone is asking rent. I said rent to own. Okay, rent to own simply means that you are buying the house with a down payment. You'll be living in the house while paying rent on an annual basis. So you are done paying for the property, then they will hand over your property documents to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for checking the comment section. So this next question, you've actually, I think you've answered it in a way, but I would want to still be I want us to be specific because I want us to touch certain persons. There's this demography that actually cannot even do mortgage or do rent to own or do co-owning. There's this demography of the Nigerian youth that cannot afford that. So the question is, for someone earning an average income, what would be the smartest roadmap towards eventual ownership? Like someone
When
that
you say
cannot.
average income, what's the definition of average income?
Our minimum wage is how much? 75,000. Abi?
Thereabouts, yeah.
Let's say average income. Let's just say between 150,000, 200,000. Let's put it at that.
I want to own a home. Maybe if I
And
need to own a home in their villages.
don't uh, we understand the problems. We
Well,
understand the problems,
for
but
people earning 150 to 200,000 on a monthly basis and you want to own ownership, definitely you won't be able to access mortgage. One of the ways in number two that I left out was mortgage. But possibly the other questions we might still be able to touch more on mortgage. So let's say you have 150,000. Owning, you can't, co-ownership self is not even realistic in the sense that you maybe might need 1,000 people to come together before you be able to buy a property. So what can you do? I think you should just leave home ownership first and foremost. And there are two things involved. You could choose to start with land, look for good location, buy farmland, and you earn rent. So you are still a landlord at the end of the day. You buy a farmland, 1 acre, or let's say one plot, 1 million naira. Every year, you are collecting, let's say, 200,000 naira. You are already collecting rent, and you are a landlord, you are a landowner. Only that instead of people being your tenants, the plantain or corn or whatever crops you have planted, they are your tenants. Another way to go about it is that you can go to a far location, let's say Ibadan, Monia, Ogun State, buy a plot of land in a good and strategic location, facing a major road, where you know that government will have their time very soon. You buy land and you wait. You might wait 10 years, you might wait 15 years, you might wait 20 years. That land that you bought 1 million might be worth 20, 50, 100 million within 10 to 20 years. Therefore, you become you'll be able to buy a property by that time. Another thing you can choose to do is to double your hustle in the sense that you earning 150 to 200 and you know that you want to own a home. Now, AI is the new game and is still underutilized in Nigeria. You could choose to pick up a tech skill or an AI skill, or you can choose to grow your career if you are a career person, improve your skills so that your boss can pay you more. Or learn an AI skill. It could be you can call yourself a graphics designer, you can call yourself a video editor, or you start creating AI videos for people. Like, let's take for instance, I just got an invoice from someone to um, what does he need me to? I need him to generate an AI video for me, and he's charging me 150,000 naira to generate an AI video for me, about 18 minutes long. This is someone who has chosen to, you know, tap into the technology. It was just a normal video editor, but now he has learned AI, he has learned skills with artificial intelligence, and now he can edit videos using AI, and he gets his money from it. In the next 2 3 years, he's going to be a millionaire for sure, and he's going to be able to afford um, home ownership. Oh, I have a friend who designs, who builds app for me. He's currently building an app for me. Guess he just graduated 2 years ago, and he does front end and back end. He's a front end and back end developer. He has bought 2 plots of MH Resort and Farms for 2 million naira from me. Now his other tech friends are buying. So one of his friends just bought 2 plots yesterday. Another of his friends just finished paying, and they're all young boys, less than 25 years. So you could choose to buy affordable land. But you buy that affordable land, what happens? You break the bank, you still struggling. Then in the next 1 year, I want to, you start disturbing your realtor. I want to sell this land. Whereas you cannot wait for 20 years for you to get that. In the 80s and 90s, land in Lekki was 50,000 naira, 100,000, 150 max. Lekki phase one. Real fact. I know a woman who retired from Chevron. The Chevron Cooperative was begging her to buy land in Lekki phase one in the late 90s for 150,000 naira per plot. Say, what does she need it for? My family owns a house there. My family owns a house there. 150,000. Try buying. My battery is then sent.
Okay.
Are going to spend. You have to have like 100 million to probably 1 billion naira for you to be able to buy a property in Lekki phase one. So that is another alternative to what people can choose. That is, you buy land, you hold, you buy farmland, you earn, or you take up while you are doing these two things. Please, I need to call urgently. While you are doing these two things, also invest in yourself, because no matter the real estate investment you in Jesus type codes that will help you to increase your. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I will wait for you to fix your. I think you need to charge or something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll wait for you to do that. So for our viewers, please don't forget like this video, subscribe, and also share the link so that others can join.
It's okay
And
for you
whatever
to take
questions you have, you can also push your questions so that we can go through it later. So let's just give Mr. Samuel some seconds to get through it. His phone. Hello, I see you, Mr. Samuel. Okay.
So what's the next question?
Are you done?
Well, I think we should just continue. I'm trying to get another power bank. I think
Uh,
my power bank It's not.
Okay. So our next question, Mr. Samuel. Going back, let's go back to the real issue. So you see, housing is solely not an individual's responsibility. Around the world, governments, financial institutions, and sometimes private developers all contribute to making housing possible. Can you hear me? Okay. So the question is, in Nigeria, what specific role should government and financial institutions play to improve the affordability for young people? What should be the role of government to make it affordable for people?
Making government role in terms of making housing
Affordable.
affordable. Okay, I would say government has role to play, of course. One of the roles is policies. Okay, so before governments, put out policies, they should do well to consult the experts in those fields. If it's a housing policy, they should consult Estate Developers Association, like in Lagos or Nigeria, we have that. If it's a consumer goods, they should consult with the consumer um association as well. So, in terms of favorable policies, let's take for instance now, uh, government, let's take for example, now, you have land, freehold, and all of a sudden government just comes and takes your land. That's citing the Land Use Act, whereas your lands are free from every form of government encumbrance. Let's say, like, for areas, it means construction costs. You may have to do German floor or piling. You can't sell cheap. So if at least the barest minimal, you are able to buy the land at affordable rates, that would help reduce your construction cost. Then there are right policies in place to ensure that um, the cost of getting government approvals, the cost of getting C of O are not excessive. Because if they are excessive, it would also affect the price of the property you are selling. Then price control. Government should set policies in place that regulate the prices of real estate. The prices in which you can enter the market, and the price in which you can exit the market. When I say market, enter the market, you set minimum price and maximum price for each locality within the states. Therefore, prices can go up and prices can come down. If you're familiar with like American real estate, you see that their prices go up, their prices go down. When inflation, deflation, it affects the real estate sector. That is because there are trajectories in place, there are policies in place. So therefore, the real estate market in US, for instance, there are times you can go in, there are times you can go out. I mean, in the sense that you can't just buy property anytime. Because if you buy property anytime, you may end up selling it below the price you bought it. So you need to do research. You need to have property advisors, realtors, as they call them, or real estate agents. You have them low advise you on when to buy properties. That is because there are mechanisms in place, there are policies in place to control and regulate the price. But in Nigeria, prices are in an upward trajectory. They never go down. So if you say, let me wait small, you wait, it goes up. So if we have the right policies in place, there will be time when properties can go up and properties can go down. And everybody knows you can't, oh, I'm buying a land in Lekki, I can't buy more than this price. I'm buying a land in this, it will range from this price to that price because there are what minimum prices and maximum prices. So these are the rules that some of those governments can put in place. Another major thing government can do is mortgage, availability of mortgage through the Federal Mortgage Bank or the NHF, because they disburse funds to both commercial banks and mortgage banks. But that's one thing I'll praise this Tinubu administration for, because in the last 3 years, the amount that has been disbursed for mortgage, it is way more than has been disbursed in the past 8 years. Even right now, even the bank is reaching out to me in case I need a mortgage. I can own a home. So that's one of the amazing things this administration have done. They, as the first subsidy removal was done, it gave government more access to funds and also the naira devaluation. And they've been able to put some of these funds in the real estate sector through mortgage. Therefore, if you have a good credit score, if you have a good income, let's say you earn 500,000 to 1 million naira monthly, you can now own a home by using the mortgage. And now you don't necessarily have to even go to the mortgage banks. Now we have commercial banks that the government have disbursed funds to. So these are the rules the government can play, the policies they make, having price control, and also the mortgage option that they provided to people for them to be able to own homes. Then, in terms of the private sector, now, what role can they even play? By making affordable housing, not just luxury. Most people want to build luxury houses because in luxury houses you can make more money. But you can as well build affordable houses for people so that they don't need to break the bank to own homes. Now, we also need to move to places like Ekpe and Ibejuleki and start building houses. So when people buy them, either they live there or they put them on rental. So there needs to be this shift from urban cities to rural cities, so long the government is able to provide roads. So there's need for public-private partnership in the sense that areas where government coming to where government coming development. The moment people begin to buy lands from the government will now have funds to now provide good road network as they've been doing in Bechuleki. And very soon, I'm sure it will be happening in Ekpe. The moment estate developers are able to buy enough land from the government, they will now use part of these funds to open road network within Ekpe and provide amenities within Ekpe. They are doing it in Ibejuleki, they'll keep doing it in Ibejuleki, and I'm sure with time it will be done in Ekpe. So developers need to move into rural areas to build. Then they need to look at alternatives to building, how to cut construction costs. Some build with iron, some build with special types of woods that can stand the test of time. There was only a time Elon Musk posted one kind of all these houses that you can move them. I don't know if I think they're made of wood and other items. So you can just unpack, carry your house, go to your village when you're traveling to your village, use a truck. You stay in your village, your house is set up for you. You're coming back to your city, you come back with your house. So in Nigeria, we need to be innovative. We're always waiting for who is starting first. So this is a market that developers will need to look into as well, in the sense that you look to alternative types of building aside the normal cement and iron and blocks that we use that is so expensive. Alternative ways to build that can stand the test of time. So private people need to look to alternative, partner with government.
Mr. Samuel, can you hear me? You're off. Oh, can you hear Mr. Samuel? Okay, I was about. We lost connection.
Was actually done. So I was asking him to answer the question. I spoke
Yes,
about
but the
government
last
policies.
almost 2 minutes now. We've not been hearing you. In fact, we not see you.
Oh, are you kidding? And I
Yes.
was actually talking. The last part I don't know where you lost me. If it's where I was talking about the public-private partnership
Yeah.
in terms then people building affordable houses for people to afford, then using alternatives building materials instead of just blocks, cement, granite, iron, wood houses that you can move. You like even in a Mox has that kind of house whereby you are traveling to another city. You are going to your village for burial. You will move your house in the city to your village. They set it up for you. You are coming back, you move it back to your city. And they also stand the test of time. So anything a
Okay.
normal modern house can stand, they will stand it. So the alternative building materials. Then people should not just build luxury, but build affordable housing. Then work with cooperatives. Private developers can work with organization cooperatives in the sense that they do this massive buying of land. When you buy in bulk, you buy cheap, possibly from the government or from individuals. Once that is achieved, you can now build at an affordable rate and make it affordable for people to buy.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for touching that. So, talking about people who cannot really afford buying a home right now, and their entry point is always for them to buy land. You see, there's a common piece of advice in Nigeria real estate that you buy land first, then you allow it to appreciate, and you build later when your finances improve. Can you hear me? Okay, I said a common saying in real estate in the world is that you buy real estate, you buy land first, like you buy land first. For those who cannot afford buying homes, you buy land first, then you allow it to appreciate. Then when you have money, you can decide to develop when you have money. Now, this strategy has worked for so many people, but it with certain risk. Can you hear me? Samuel, can you hear me, Mr. Samuel? Okay, let me So buying lands come with risk. Buying lands come with risk. Can you hear me? Okay. So what strategy do you think a young Nigerian should take? What precaution? Let me rephrase that. What precautions should buyer take before taking such an investment in buying land?
Okay. Yes, buying land is a risk. Crossing the road is a risk. Everything in life is a risk. Going to work is a risk. Eating food is a risk. Sleeping is a risk. So there are calculated risks and there are uncalculated risks. So buying land should be a calculated risk first and foremost. So before buying land, you just need to look at variables such as the location. Where is this property located? What is the proximity of this property to development? If I buy this land, what can I get in the next 5, 10 years from this land? What government policies are in place to ensure that development gets here? That way you'll be able to buy the property. Then after looking at the location, the next thing you need to look at is the price. How much is the property selling for? Is it selling for? Sorry, another thing you need to look at is the title, not even the price. Once you look at location, you need to look at the title. What is the title of this property? I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. What is the title on this property? Does it have a C of O? Does it have a governor's consent? Is the land freehold? Is the land agreed? So if the land is freehold, immediately go and get your C of O. If the land is agreed, immediately go and regularize it and get your C of O. If the land is committed, government area run. So just ensure you have a surveyor that charts the land and tells you the land status. So you must look at the location, you must look at the title, then you must look at government presence because government presence drives real estate. The role of government can never be overemphasized because they have a major role to play. Because it's when government brings in development, coastal road, railroad, um, free trade zone, all of that is when they bring in that. That is when organizations, foreign investments can come in there because government has brought development to the place. Good road network, rail lines, and all of that. More airports. So you look at the government plan for that area. So once we see that, okay, yes, government has good plans for this place. The location is good. The road leading to the property is good. The land status, perfect. You jump on it. So you don't just jump. Oh, this land is pre-launch price, promo price 5 million, actual price 10 million. Oh, yeah, buy, sell at the 10 million. 10 years, you've not got into that 10 million naira. So don't be fooled by what we real estate developers and consultants do. Do your due diligence. Carrier, oh, check the location, check the title, check the proximity to government development and presence. Then before you now check the price. That is the last thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's quickly talk about something: renting versus actual ownership.
That's a
Renting
big
versus
one.
actual ownership. So some persons will tell you that rent is money wasted. However, some financial experts will argue that renting can actually be a strategic decision. So the question is that is renting necessarily a bad financial decision, or are there situations where it makes more economic sense to rent than rushing into home ownership?
I think the first thing is that everybody needs a roof over their head. So if you
Definitely.
cannot um, afford to buy a house, what would you do? You would have to rent a house unless you want to live in the streets or something. So you definitely need a roof over your head. So you definitely need to rent an apartment if you cannot afford one. Earlier I also spoke about rent. plan in a home. Sangotedo. They live here in Sangotedo and they work in VI. Thank God for Coastal Road. In less than 45 minutes, they are already at their office. In some cases, less than 30 minutes, they are in their office. Because it's 15 minutes drive to Oniru VI from Sangotedo, or 10 minutes drive, 10 to 15 minutes drive. So imagine someone that paying 50 million per annum and they don't have a property. So it is good to have a roof over your head, and it's also smarter to own a home in Nigeria, because once you own a home in Nigeria, you'll be you are a landlord automatically. So do not break the bank to pay rent. That would be my best advice to people. Imagine a young bachelor living in a 4 bedroom duplex without kids, or living in a 3 bedroom apartment without kids. What are you going to do with all the space? Unless you want to let the other rooms to people and start making money from your rental property. So don't live above your means, okay? Rent an apartment fits your less than your current income, that doesn't even fit your current income, in close proximity to your place of work, so you're comfortable. Then save so that you can own a home. Because in Nigeria, it pays to own a home. Abroad, you might own a home, and because you own a home, you might become poor because of taxes and government policies and the way real estate goes up and down abroad. But in Nigerian real estate sector, it pays more to actually own a home. So just do not break the bank to rent, so that it will give you the ability to save. Any property that you need to lend money to pay rent is not for you. So just ensure you don't live above your means. Rent what you can, less than what you can afford, so that you can save up to own a home, and look for rent to own, fractional ownership as well as an easier pathway to own a home, or look at mortgage options. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are almost ending this conversation. But before you go, the last question, and this is going to be directed to you. You're going to be advising the young Nigerians. This is your advice to you. So
I'm also a young
looking over the
Nigerian,
next
though.
10 to 15 years.
I say
What do you
I'm
say?
also a young Nigerian, so my advice to my fellow young Nigerians and to myself as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, young Nigerian. It seems you are getting it right. It seems you are getting it right as
I
a
hope
young
so.
Nigerian. So, so we need your advice. We need your advice. So, looking over the next 10 to 15 years, do you believe, like honestly and personally, do you believe that home ownership will become easier or more difficult for Nigerians? And what practical advice would you give someone in their 20s or 30s who hope to own a home in the future without placing unnecessary financial pressures on themselves?
Yeah.
What's your advice to? What's your
Yeah.
advice?
Yeah. Thank you. I believe home ownership is possible for everyone. Like, I wasn't born with a silver spoon. My first job after graduation was, I think, 35,000 naira before I chose to pick up a career in the real estate sector. So it is good to be ambitious. It is good to be audacious. So every young meaning person should aspire to own a home. But that doesn't mean that you are going to own a home. You may end up owning land and earning rent. But you should have that aspiration. And in terms of if it's going to get easier, it never gets easier, especially in this part of the world. That is, in terms of the pricing, it never gets easier. Lands will keep appreciating, buildings will keep appreciating. So I mean, properties selling for 130 million today, in the next 10 years, at least 260 million. In the next 5 years, it will have doubled. That's a fact. Despite that, as a young person, you must definitely aspire to own homes. Okay? So you want to own a home, you don't need to go and start gambling. You don't need to start, oh, this one is has a house. Let me go and do kalu kalu. Let me go and do vet Nigeria. Let me go and do this one to own a home. No, you don't need to break the bank. The world is evolving. Technology is evolving. So if you are someone who works 9 to 5, take up other skills, take up other careers, diversify your income portfolio. Because it's when you begin to diversify your income portfolio, you earn more than just salaries. That is when you will actually be sound, especially if you are in Nigeria. But if you are abroad, because of the current exchange value, it's easier for you to work abroad and own a property. You just don't need to break the bank in terms of owning luxury, I mean, living, renting duplexes and all. You can just cut your expenses so that you can invest back home. If you have the mindset of coming back home, you can start with farmlands. So for people who now live here in country, even if you live abroad still, it's still okay to diversify, learn tech, learn AI, then land bank. When I say land bank, is that you buy land and you wait. And don't just buy land and wait because you'll be too curious. Diversify. Have other means of income. Buy shares, buy stocks. Start having multiple streams of income because that's a income from building houses, income from pigs, income from planting. Diversify your investments. If you're a career person, improve your skills so that you can earn more where you work. Take up remote jobs at night as well so that you can have multiple streams of income that will help you to buy more properties. Then you can now choose to buy farmland for cash flow. You buy farmland, you earn, you have 1 million naira, you buy one plot, then every year you are collecting 200,000, 150. That changes your mindset. You now start thinking of other legitimate investments you can do. Buy treasury bills as well if you can afford it, so that when you sleep, you can now have the opportunity to have more money and buy uh, properties. The smartest way to owning a home isn't just about thinking of how to buy land, but thinking of what financial security while you get there. Because you can buy a land today, a cheap land for 1 million. I believe you have land in Monia, maybe selling, let's say selling for 1 million per plot now, and you have a customer that buys it and he has saved for 4 years to get that 1 million and he buys a plot. In the next 1 to 2 years, if he doesn't diversify his investment, he will start thinking of selling it. So if you have that 1 million naira, why not take a 12-month plan, buy a plot, make initial deposit. While you're paying monthly, learn a skill. Let that skill earn money for you. Buy treasury bill, or while you're buying land banking, buy a farmland as well. That way, you would have financial freedom. You would have peace of mind. Some people, their side hustle, the income they will get from their side hustle would be paying their rent. Then you can now begin to save up your salary to buy a house. So just diversify your investment portfolio, buy land, buy farmland, invest in treasury bills, invest in yourself. That's the best investment you can give to yourself. The best gift you can give to yourself is investing in yourself. Improve your skills, make yourself more employable. work 2 to 3 jobs, pick up a tech skill, pick up an AI skill, and start leveraging and earning from it. Then, if you're a career person, pick up more skills in your career so that you can be promoted. Just like my HR in my office, she's picking up skills. When she pick up skills, I'm sure she'll continue for salary increment. And if I can't meet up with salary increment, she'll get a better job because she has improved herself from her earnings. Then when she gets a better job, what will she do? She can now begin to buy properties because her income has increased. Therefore, there won't be fear of I give you all my life savings, I have nothing to fall back on. That fear won't be there. So for young people, this is the best time to start. Pick up skills, buy into farmlands, buy both farmlands and land that you can hold for 10 years and flip for times 100. So long the location is right, the land status is right, the pricing is right, and there's government presence within that axis. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This has been a truly insightful discussion and conversation with you, Mr. Samuel. So today's conversation reminds us that while the dream of home the right time, I would like to sincerely thank our guest for sharing this valuable um, advice to us and this valuable information to us. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Moma, MD CEO, Mirror Homes Investments Limited. So, for also viewers, those who have stayed with us till the end, thank you very much. Please like our videos, subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing this on a weekly basis, and we'll be here to discuss insightful topics that will help us in Nigeria, in Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. I remain Patrick, your realtor, and until our next conversation, remember, don't just dream of owning a property, understand the market, make informed decisions, and also build wealth one step at a time. Until we see you again, stay safe. Bye bye. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.